Good evening, all. Southwest Piper coming to you on a manic Monday. No, it was a good Monday, but it was a little crazy today. Today was the first day back from a few weeks of leave after the birth of my son. So it's a good first day back, but like uh, like most jobs, you take some time off. And you've got a variety of people who are graciously covering your position. Things get done a certain way that changes. And so I came back and had to do a little bit of straightening out of daily my daily obligations. But I had a good weekend. Uh, Before heading back to work today, Saturday, as per my introduction video, talking a little bit about Christmas tradition. Saturday, we loaded up the truck, packed a few backpacks for the clothes and snacks, made a stop and got a couple cups of coffee, and we head up about an hour and a half northwest to Jemez Springs. Picked up our Christmas tree permit and then proceeded out to go find our family Christmas tree this year. Um, Last year when we did that, last year we had a very, here in the state of New Mexico, we had a very warm, dry winter. And so when we went last year to pick out our Christmas tree, we went right around there the first week or so in December. And I mean, in that higher elevation, it was still upper 40s. Pretty warm for that high elevation. This year, though, not even out of November, we go up there and the highways are clear, but on the fire roads where we need to go to get the tree, to pick out our tree, there was 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but on those fire roads, very narrow, steep, it was a little bit of a challenge, especially since I don't have the proper tires on my truck. I have these max fuel road tires, and so yeah, a little bit of a challenge. But we carried on with the tradition and found ourselves a nice little spruce tree, about 14 feet high when we cut it down, because per the instructions you want to cut it as close to the ground as possible. But we brought it home, quickly realized way too tall for the space that we normally put our tree in. So we had to cut a little bit down, shape it, We got it into one of uh, our tree stands, dug out our storage containers full of decorations, and decorated our Christmas tree this year. When it was mostly done, we then moved into the kitchen and baked a tray of sugar cookies, green color, as per requested by the 2-year-old, which was made possible with a little bit of food coloring. And then we bundled up the family and went on a neighborhood stroll to see which of our neighbors have put up their Christmas tree or Christmas lights so far. So it was a good first activity to bring in the holiday season, the Christmas season. So all right, before I get any further, smoking a little bit of Sutliff B21 Black Spice. Smoking in this La Roca Dulce bent poker. I like this little pipe. Nice tall deep bowl. Love the can't really see it, but it's got a nice little marbling in that stem. Nice wide stem. So I like this little pipe. Give you a little bit of a first impression of this B21. It is part of the recent shipment I got of what I'm calling my holiday blends. And I will say, this one smokes a lot like it smells out of the bag. I mean, not to make that kind of disgusted face, but I think it's safe to say what you smell is what you get with this tobacco. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not like with the Autumn Evening, where in my last first impression, Autumn Evening had that really nice mapley, graham crackery bag smell, bag note, tin note, but it came in a bag, so bag note. And then, which was really subdued and smoked a lot differently in flavor than the bag suggested. This, however, smokes exactly like it smells. So, give you guys a little bit of my thoughts on this, and then, yeah, try to keep this video a little short. Before I get any further, do want to say I continue to be overwhelmed by the generosity and caring, the caring comments that I'm getting from you all via, you know, the videos I've put up so far. Some of you guys have left really thoughtful, wonderful comments, and thank you guys. I am working on responding to as many as I can. It's just been a little bit of a little bit of an adjustment with me trying to get prepared to go back to work today. So I'm planning to stay up for a little bit and get to some of these comments I haven't got to yet. And so, with that being said, at last check, I've got just over 100 submitters, or I mean not submitters, subscribers. Wow. Was not expecting that. I'm thinking if the channel gets to 200, if the channel gets to 200, do a nice little giveaway. Nothing too crazy. I'm thinking a nice little pipe, unsmoked, and I don't know. We'll see. Throw in a tin of tobacco, or I got an idea. I'll run it by you guys. See what you guys think. Maybe that could be part of the giveaway as well. So we'll get to that in just a second. So B21. As with my first impression of Autumn Evening, this is not a true first impression of B21 because this is now my second bowl of this tobacco. I had my first bowl of it while I was putting up our Christmas lights the day after Thanksgiving. So actually went pretty well. I enjoyed it while I was putting up the Christmas lights. That was a nice afternoon. It was crisp air, it was sunny. Got my Christmas lights all untangled. God, gotta have a better system for putting that stuff away. Checked all the bulbs. Got everything going. Just lit up a pipe of B21. Threw in my earbuds. And was blasting Tekashi 6ix9ine. Just kidding. Just kidding. Well, I don't. Whatever. If you like him, you like him. The dude. I don't know. Maybe it was a bad joke, but it wasn't Tekashi 6ix9ine. I have a Christmas playlist of non-Christmas music that I like to listen to, so I was playing that most likely, if I can remember correctly. But B21. So when you open the bag, I don't believe this comes in a tin form. It's a Sutliff bulk. You get hit in the nose with a pretty strong vanilla, cherry kind of liqueur topping. Hits you pretty good in the nose. It's not bad. It's just it's strong. Because I'm not a huge aromatic smoker, when I open stuff like that, it blasts me right in the nose. Like it hits me. Takes me a minute to take it in, get used to it. pretty moist in the bag. And I want to say it was in a bag for probably between 5 to 7 days, and it was still really moist. So it's still a little moist in the pipe right now. I didn't wait as long as I probably should have, but it it could have fared for more drying time for sure. It's moist in the bag. Very, very dark tobacco. Um, my father-in-law, I brought a handful of my tobaccos over to his house on Thanksgiving, and he saw this one, and he was like, "I got to try that." So he actually had the first bowl of this, and he liked it, but he also said it's a pretty spicy tobacco, which intrigued me. And on my first bowl of this, I didn't find that spice. Um, Not like he was suggesting. Um, but what I do like about this is that aroma off the bag. It does get subdued a tiny bit, but it's still there pretty much through the smoke. But what I really get and I really enjoy about this is this tanginess that comes through the front of the tongue. And there's almost like this earthy, leather-like quality when through the retro. So maybe that was the spiciness he was talking about. I'm not quite sure, but and it's cool. It's a cool smoke. But I imagine if you are really, really puffing on, and I'm puffing on this thing's pretty good, but I imagine if you're really puffing on this, yeah, you might get a little bit of tongue bite. I really like the room note that this tobacco provides. It's really kind of got this earthiness to the room note, so I like that a lot. So I got one other thing just to cover real quick, and then I'll end this video. A little bit of a question for everybody. Maybe we could see a few VRs. Kind of been on the hunt for a particular kind of book that I want to read. Been really kind of craving I don't want to just say like a wilderness survival type story. more like an awakening in the wilderness. I guess very much kind of like the transcendentalist mentality, but been looking, trying to find a book that would capture that craving I have for that kind of story. So my question is this: those of you guys who pipe and read or read and pipe, what do you guys read? What are you reading now? Throw some titles at me. I'm not just limited to that wilderness idea. You got a good book, good story. Let me hear you. Let me hear what it is. Also, even though I've been thinking about that kind of a story, I've been also trying to think about what kind of a tobacco would go good with that story. Now, I've never tried it, but obviously the one that seems to be popping up in my YouTube feed quite a bit lately is some Northwoods. So maybe I can get maybe I can get myself a little bit of that, and that will do it. But I'm also thinking like some kind of a nice English aromatic, like, you know, that English with just a little bit of sweetness to a little bit of a topping, something like that. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are hearing English aromatic. What are you talking about? I once heard Frogmorton on the Town described in that way, and it's kind of stuck with me because I'm like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's like a light English, but it has like that topping, that flavoring that gives it a little bit of roundness to it, and I like that a lot about a tobacco. If I could find more, if you guys can suggest tobaccos with that quality, that'd be awesome. Alright guys, so this video is getting a little longer than I intended it to be, but hope everyone has a good Monday evening. It's probably pretty late for some of you guys, but have a good rest of your evening. Try to come back to you guys in a couple weeks, so let me know if you think, not a couple weeks, a couple days. Let me know if you think the 200 sub mark is a good point for a giveaway. And I'm thinking like a nice little pipe, and maybe a couple things of tobacco. We'll see. Oh, and here's my idea real quick. Been goofing around with the idea of making my own tobacco press, a wooden tobacco press. Been watching some videos on it. I very much, when I see something done, the question comes up in my mind, is that something I can do? And even if I fail at it, I don't want to say I tried it. And I'm thinking I want to start blending my own cakes and plugs. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Maybe that's something that gets thrown in with the giveaway. If I can get a couple of blends, a couple of bulk mixing blends. I mean, mixing tobaccos together, make some blends. Maybe I throw that in there. Alright guys, have a good evening. Southwest Piper signing off.